Welcome to the WorkHARDAholics Show with your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford, author, speaker, and small business consultant for over 20 years, helping you to work hard, play harder, and business better. I love our theme music. Welcome to another episode of WorkHARDaholics. I am Shirley Crawford, your host, the original WorkHARDaholic. Now, I don't know how to say it. I have to sing it every single time. So, if you're here and you don't know why you're here, let me tell you why. A WorkHARDaholic is someone who is always doing something. We're super productive. We have a million different ideas and activities. We are working with our families. We're out in the communities. We're doing an amazing job in our businesses or at work. We are here. We are there. We are everywhere. But sometimes we forget about the key component to all those things, ourselves. So we come together every Wednesday at 1 or in the replay, wherever you're watching it, to learn a new word, increase our vocabulary, increase our communication skills, learn a new tool or resource to be a better workaholic, and to do all these things and more in balance. So if that's you, welcome. Bienvenido. Let's go. All right. So first things first, I want to, once again, I've been saying thank you each week. I mean it. So I want to say thank you to each of you who have gone and subscribed to our YouTube channel. YouTube and WorkHARDaholics, that algorithm just really isn't working for us. So I need your help to help us get to the 1,000 subscriber mark, because there are business benefits to being at the 1,000 subscriber mark. And also, if you're on and you're getting the benefit of this free advice and information and edutainment, then feel free to share it with your family, your friends, your budding entrepreneurs, those leaders in the community and society. When I started this request, at this point, it's been 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. We had 8 subscribers. 8. I'm not even kidding. We had 8 subscribers on YouTube. Then we went up to 45, 46. I feel like we were at 50. And now for some reason we are at 41. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if YouTube just isn't working with us. But if you all would be so kind as to take a moment right now to share, subscribe, repeat, comment. Greatly appreciate that. Our TikTok following, over 1,000, easily. Our Facebook, everything else is great. We want YouTube. We want you to help us, YouTube. Okay, so once again, thank you for that. And then I want to jump into our Business Better segment. So there are lots of things that are happening in society, in our community, our world, and we want to make sure that you know about the things that benefit you, the things that might relate or impact you, and so that's what we're here for. So I want to start with, first and foremost, for those of you who have not heard, I am really proud of all of my family and friends, because I've gotten this message 7 or 8 times, informing me that you can now get free COVID testing kits from the U.S. government sent to your home. Has anyone not done that yet? So it started officially yesterday. Yesterday you could start ordering. It rolled out today, January 19th. So if you're out there, you can get 4 free rapid testing kits from the United States government sent to you at your home, only 1 kit per residence. And so if you're looking to get yours, you can go to COVID test with an S on the end.gov. There's a USPS option as well. And it's real straightforward. You put in your name, your address, and boop, 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 you're done. And they'll send it to you. They say within 2 weeks, you'll receive your kits. And so right now, considering the fact that, in the last week, I know 3 different people, no, in the last 3 weeks, In the last 3 weeks, I've known 3 different people who have gotten COVID. And so we don't want that to be you, and I sure don't want it to be me. So outside of taking the proper precautions, we're saying, just in case you want to know, because I can't think, I would think that I would feel horrible. Like, I don't know if I have a word for it. If I was a spreader, can you imagine? Like, if you gave someone else COVID, like, because they can get sick, they can die. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. And so for me, like, I have elder care. I do a lot of things with my mother. I cannot imagine that I would forgive myself. I doubt that my siblings would forgive me if I brought COVID into my mother's home. I'm just saying, it's just a thought. So for those of you who have that same concern, you can sign up, get your testing kits, storm away, because right now we know they're really hard to come by. So that's number one. And you think, how does that help you business better? It helps you make sure that you, your employees, those who are around you, are safe and healthy, and that we don't go, oh, that event at the Women's Business Center RVA was a 0.0 and it gave like COVID to like half of Richmond, Virginia, which is where we're located. So we don't want that for you. So pick up your kits. They're absolutely free. You can get up to 4. Go to COVIDtests, tests.gov, and pick up yours today. All right. The next thing we wanted to share, for those of you who are want to get a brick and mortar location, right? And you don't mind where you're located. So if you're in Virginia, let's start there, because if you're in Georgia or New York, you might not care so much about this next update. But if you're in Virginia, especially if you're in the central, the metropolitan Richmond area, then there's something happening right now. There's a pitch competition for, it's Homegrown for Hopewell. Homegrown for Hopewell. And you do not have to be in Hopewell. You don't have to be, you don't even have to technically be a Virginia resident, none of the above. But this is the expectation. It's a pitch competition. February 1st, they're having an information session. It's by Zoom. So wherever you are, you can log in and get the information. And so they're awarding up to $30,000. And so you have to agree to set up shop in Hopewell, downtown Hopewell. So they have 3 vacant, I think it's kind of like a genius idea. They have 3 vacant commercial spaces, and you have to agree to occupy one. And so therefore and that you're going to actually impact the area, right? I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant on Hopewell's part. So Hopewell, Petersburg, that's the region. You'll be put through a boot camp. If you're selected, there's a boot camp you'll go through. And who doesn't always need more help? Like, I was just talking to a group last night, which I'll tell you all about in a little bit. But I was explaining that I've been in business. I've been in business officially for over 25 years. I've been doing what I do since I was a child. Like, I have been giving business advice to people since I distinctly recall around 7 or 8 giving someone a consult I was telling someone about their business and all the things they were doing wrong. And I should have known then this is what I was going to do. I don't know why I didn't know it for sure, but here it is. I've been doing it for a really long time. And even at that, I was explaining that every weekend, generally speaking, at least two or three weekends a month, I spend the time taking classes, online universities, webinars, following information and advice from my gurus, or I'm constantly picking the brains of people like our producer, Christina. I just finished harassing her earlier. I was like, okay, I did this and this didn't work. What happened? I am a perpetual student. And if you're going to be successful, you have to be too. So going through that boot camp, I think could be quite fascinating. Just saying. So that's an opportunity for you. You can go to hopewelldowntown.com to find out more information. So it is a pitch competition, and the award can be up to $30,000. So if you want to have a space for your business, that's something to consider. And then this is a piece of information I shared last week. I want to share again because it's fast approaching. All right. There is an event January 26th, and It's sponsored by the MBDA here in Virginia. If you're not in Virginia, you can still log in to get information, but it's all about federal dollars. So that's why even if you're not in Virginia, you can still learn more about it. And the individual who is behind, you'll be hearing more and more and more about MDBA, alphabet soup. We can do it. MBDA. Whew, I can get it. MBDA. You'll be hearing more and more about them because if you're in Virginia, they just opened up a whole new shop here. So they split themselves up a little bit differently. So now we have our own Virginia, or at least Richmond, metropolitan Richmond area, we have our own representation. So feel free to avail yourselves of that. If you are a small business owner and you're making, I think it's $50,000 or more, it could be $100,000. I think it's $50,000, and you're looking to get more contracts or who to align with, then you're really going to want to have a meeting with Tommy Marks, who's a lovely gentleman. I've met with him a couple of times, and highly recommend that you pursue that route. And even if you're not making that dollar amount, he's still extremely helpful. So it's worth checking out that resource. And if you didn't know, now you know. All right. And last but not least, in our Business Better segment, I want to remind you, because February 1, of course, we know is when all W-2s are due, all of your tax forms are needed from your business to your vendors and your clients. But I want you all to keep in mind that means we are about to hit full swing tax season. And if you received an EIDL loan, then you're going to want to make sure to have the conversation with your CPA. And the question you're asking is, do I have to have an audit? I said it for the past few weeks. There will be no excuse. You have to know. You need to check with your CPA to find out whether or not you need an audit. Nonprofits, we have to have an audit every year, so we don't think anything about that. But for you for-profit organizations and agencies, that might not be on your radar. I don't want you having problems with Uncle Sam, because the IRS is the biggest gangster in the entire world, and I don't want them coming for you. Okay? So please check. And unfortunately, this is the part that I find unfortunate, because I think it's the responsibility of your squad, of your team, of your staff, right? So your banker might not be on your payroll, but they're still a part of your business staff, a part of your business support team. And so, and the PPP loans was a great time to recognize and realize if your banker was indeed on board with your team. All right. So if you were having banking with a bank for 20 years and they didn't call you with that first round of PPP loans and say, hey, this money is here, you should really think about switching banks, because they're not in it for you. Period. So like, I think about the fact that right now I want to take a transaction with one of my business bank accounts. And so the bank manager has offered like a few times to come to me rather than have me come out to their offices to sign the paperwork. That's a bank in my corner. And so even when I get irritated about something else, because I have a tendency of getting irritated when things aren't exactly the way that I like them, I will always remember this is a relationship and I can work with this relationship. If you've never had any of that treatment, then you really should consider a different banker. All right. But that's just an example. And that, for me, that goes back to, if you have a CPA and all they do is file your taxes and you never hear from them, if they're not reaching out to you right now to say, hey, I know you got the EIDL loan because we had to prepare all that paperwork for you to get you ready for it. You need this. Or they're going to say, hey, you got PPP, and according to the regulations, you need this. If they're not reaching out to you to ask you, to inquire, to share with you, to talk about it, it's a good time to fire them and find someone who is more aligned and concerned about your business. And so, I know we often go, well, they did their function. Their function is bigger than just filing your taxes. Their function is making sure that financially speaking, your business is in line and in regulation. And if they're never asking you any questions, I've said this before as well, if you have a CPA and you're making $100,000 a year or $75,000 a year, and they've never asked you, not once, they've never asked you, hey, do you want to think about doing an S Corp or a C Corp? Fire them now. Okay, So that's what we wanted to share with you today for our Business Better segment here at WorkHARDaholics. And now, on to the fun. All right, so for those who don't know, Geeks Anonymous right here. Hi, my name is Shirley, and I'm a geek. I support it, love the words, and it's time for our word for the week. Okay, so this is when I know that a word is not in usage as much as it should be. So I was thinking about the fact that it should be a productive time, a productive season. We should be progressing. It's still January. The new year is getting fresh and started. Some of you all are still living under the delusion of resolutions. Like we're still in this mentality. And I want it to be that beyond making a declaration of what you think you're going to do, that in 2022, we actually move forward. We actually progress. I think last week or week before I talked about leveling up. I want to see us actually make changes that have a lasting impact. Like that's what legacy is. To know that when you're gone, something that you have contributed still lives on. And I will hope it's something positive. I would. Can't guarantee it for some of you. But I don't know if it's worse to leave behind a negative legacy, to leave behind a positive legacy, or to leave no legacy at all. That last one scares me. The first one I think is terrible, but the last one really scares me. That you could be on this planet for 20 years, 30 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, and make no impact whatsoever. That's just such a waste of space. But, alas, that's not what we hope for you. So on that note, I was looking up words that really meant progression, moving forward, like we're going to do it. And I came across the word and I was like, this has got to be a word that is rarely used because even when I looked up the pronunciation, do you know they had 2 different pronunciations? Like I went to like a dozen different sites and 3 or 4 gave me one pronunciation and like the others gave me another. I was like, So I went with the ones that I trust the most, and we came up with anabasis. I have to pause there, just like, you right? Anabasis. You know what? Maybe that'll be one of my next projects. It won't be. I'll go around doing pronunciations of words. It's not going to happen. Christina with a C already got my mind revving this morning with a whole new project that I have to do to add to the 50 billion that I already have. So pronunciation will not be happening, but I still found that very interesting. So anabasis is going or marching up. It's a military term that actually means to progress inland. It goes back to this whole thing, this is a historical piece about a particular battle that happened, and because of that, it can also mean a specific type of military retreat, right? But it's really about a military action of moving forward, especially in an uncomfortable situation. If that doesn't describe for you 2022, I don't know what to tell you. So when we're looking at the landscape of what's coming up, we don't know how much longer we're going to be dealing with the variations of COVID-19. We don't know how much longer or the full impacts that are going to happen with regards to inflation, shortage of supplies, shortage of employees. There's so much happening. We have political unrest. I think wherever you turn, things are happening. We have people who are unfortunately dying left and right. Families are splitting. Like people are getting divorced that I never thought about that could happen. But that's just where we are. And there's all this upheaval and all kinds of things happening. There's so much ambiguity. But yet and still, my cry for you all is an anabasis. We can get there. Anabasis. All right. I'm really hoping that you all will have a military-like strategy about how you're going to move forward. That you'll have an anabasis. There you go. On how you're going to progress the terrain of 2022. And if you're thinking, I'm going to sit back and see what happens, you're already behind schedule. You're already behind the 8 ball. You've already lost. If you're going to wait to see what transpires, you're not going to get to where you think you're going to get. So I've mentioned before about goals and quantifiable goals and, really aligning to say, this is what I want and this is how I'm going to get there. And so, like, right now, I have started the progress for certain things that I've said I've always wanted to do, right? So, like, I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar. I want to learn how to play the flute too, but it's like tertiary. It's not the biggest thing. So I've not just purchased one guitar. I've purchased 2. I took my first guitar lesson. So now I need to figure out how I can incorporate it into my schedule so I can make it a real consistent thing. I've been talking about weight and being healthy. And so I started off with the whole conversation about where I was and what I was doing. Then I joined the YMCA. And so I had been faithfully going really 5 or 6 times a week and doing water aerobics because it was very good for my knee that doesn't like me after a car accident of years ago. And so I've seen the results. And so now I'm not seeing all the results, I want to see, but like I am most definitely much more, my heart is healthier. The rest of me is trying to catch up. But now my next step is I registered for a running group. Yeah, I'm not excited about that. And so before 2022 is over, I didn't want to say it out loud, but that's what accountability is. I'm moving forward. I'm sure I am expressing my forward progression, my nemesis. And so part of that is I'm going to run a half marathon. I'm so not excited about that. But moving forward doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be excited about the steps that I'm taking, because my real end goal and why I'm taking this nemesis is to be healthy, happy, whole. I don't want to be that the moment that I say I'm no longer working, which I don't know when that'll happen, that I drop dead the next day. I want to have forward motion, and I'm trying to take you all with me. Come along, everyone. Come along, all WorkHARDaholics. Our nemesis has begun. Okay. So, our word for the week, a nemesis. Okay, so I wanted to share. So now, I wanted to share for our business check-in. I wanted to share about an event I went to last night. I was a guest. And so, has anyone heard of the honor loan? I hadn't. And so what transpired, because I feel like it's my job to make sure that I connect with individuals. So I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Time. I love his name. As I've told him, I think it sounds like a superhero. Dr. Time. Yeah, Dr. Michael Time, who used to be an actual MD doctor and converted into an entrepreneur. And so relatively young guy. And he has been working with the honor loan. And so it's a really cool program. It's all about education and helping you be able to succeed as an entrepreneur. So the beginning of the process and at the end of it is money. That's the point. It's honor loan. And so money being one of the biggest, hurdles for small business owners, here's a way to get some. So you start off in this, I'd call it a basic boot camp as well. And the first thing they start talking about is like that money and entrepreneur mindset. And you might not recognize it, but a lot of us have been brainwashed. And the way we think about money and I think about when I first went to college, I was so amazed to know that so many people thought the objective was to be a better employee. And so I went to school and I did exactly what I had planned to do. My game plan was to work for a Fortune 500. I worked for a Fortune 25. And I wanted to learn how they did all that they could do so that when I ran my business, I would have tools and insight. And it worked. That's exactly what I did. I learned so much. And I applied that when I'm working with my clients. And so that mentality of employee sometimes it's hard to shift. And I think it's even harder when you've been a state employee, because, or when you work for a really large company. Um, if you come to your desk and there's no pencils there, you go to the cabinet and get one. Or you go to the department secretary and say, whomever that might be, order me some whatever. Or if you're a state, then you have to go through an entire different process, and you have to request, and you have to order, and it has to go through the approval, and all these bureaucratic layers. As an entrepreneur, you're responsible. You don't have a pencil? Did you buy any? Did you get any? It's a whole shift in how you think about what's required. You're the plugger. You're the HR. You are marketing. You are finance. You are the products. You are the service. You are, as we would say, every woman. It's all in. But you might be the man. So, take it whichever way you want to. But that's the basis of what happens. So I was really honored to be a guest last night, and to listen as they are transversing that process, to learn more about who are entrepreneurs that I know, what inspires me, what's my passion, what's my purpose. Those are my P words. They talk about persistence and some other things. And it was just fascinating, because those individuals are the stage that's normally before the type of people that I normally deal with. So they're at that beginning, although the group is really mixed. So there are people in there who have been entrepreneurs for some time and are just starting to take it seriously. There were a couple of serial entrepreneurs, people who have done business before, but maybe didn't have all that basic information. And that happens a lot. I want to say, for the record, it happens a lot. I know here at the center, one of the first things that happens is that I get a client in, they could have been in business for a decade and still might not have some foundational information that they should have. So once again, another resource for you. I think this current class is closed, but you can still send in your information, find out for the future. It's the honor loan, and I guess you can Google it. I did not put the website down. But the honor loan, you can happily Google it. And Dr. Time has he's been interviewed by several different outlets, so you can take a peek. So once again, thank you all for having me last night. I am connecting in with them for the future as well. But I thought that it was a really cool experience. I'm glad that I got to do it, and I highly recommend it. All right, on that note, we're going to get ready for a word from our sponsor. And here's the thing to know. This could be you. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for WorkHARDaholics, just send us a message at admin@workhardaholics.com. Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA. When you're ready for more than just office space, come join the WBCRVA family. Thank you to our sponsors who make WorkHARDaholics possible. Okay, so now it's time for our time tool technique for the week. So I haven't used this one yet. I've heard good things, but I haven't tried it. But I want to share. And if you try it, send us a message. Let us know if it works for you and what did you think about it. So our time tool technique for this week is the grid diary. So I don't want you thinking about Judy Blume and Are We There, God? It's me, Margaret. It's not that kind of a diary. And so this gives you an opportunity to really look at your scheduling, what you have going on, but also to see about your anibuses. Like, how are you progressing with what you've listed, what you've shared, what you've written down? I think journaling in general is it's an amazing habit to have. And especially in such a busy society, it's so easy to have like a billion different things running through your brain and not knowing which one to attack first, or even to figure out how to assess like what you've done already. So you've been running in circles. Like, the days that I feel the most frustrated are when I feel totally unproductive. It doesn't mean that I didn't do a billion different things. It doesn't mean that my day wasn't filled to the rafters, but how much did I actually get accomplished? So the grid diary is good to help you with that. And so, as it says here, it'll help you be able to answer the questions: did I help anyone today? Did I make progress compared to yesterday? What was the most touching thing I saw or heard or did? What is really not as that important in the bigger scheme of things? And that's really one of my favorite questions, because I always talk about like your procrastination doesn't make it my emergency, because it doesn't. But also there's this thing of perspective. I have been mentoring, officially mentoring, since my early 20s. And I mean like 2021. I might even been 19. Officially mentoring. And so I'm really proud of my mentees. You all are amazing. And they're doing great and wonderful things. But when I think about that, working with teenagers in particular, if you haven't done it, you should do it at least once, really. Oh my goodness. The fact that the sky is always falling in their world. Like, everything is a crisis. Everything is so like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm always like, it's not that serious. And so there's a story I would love to tell, but I should probably ask permission. But so I won't share it because I didn't think to ask before this moment. But there was one instance in particular where I kept telling this young couple that it's going to change. It won't be that same. I said, give it. I was like, give it 10 years. You won't even remember this moment. I said, really, 5. And so, they just thought that I was so insane. And now I think about the fact that life has proved out what I already said. But you have lots of people who have these like moments where this moment's like, this is happening. But having a journal, a diary, a perspective to let you know, it's not that deep. Like, that's important. But in the scheme of things, I don't have to break my back to make this happen. Or it could be catastrophic, and still, if you survived it to another day, then you survived to another day. I'm just saying. So I thought that was part of the reason why the grid diary seemed like a really interesting thing. So once again, if you try it, let me know. I am currently working on a whole different journal, so I don't want to have a bunch going on. And I already have a bunch going on. I don't want to have more going on. So like, I actually just got this. This is my most recent journal. I just picked it up, and it's 15 Minutes Alone with God by Emily Barnes. I got it from Ollie's. Shout out to Ollie's. I do love Ollie's. I really need to be like the Ollie's ambassador. I love Ollie's, and I've taken several people there. Because I got this one. I got it for $4. No breaking of the bank. But I often think about like Rita Ricks, speak to your spirit, Rita Ricks, RitaRicks.com soon. She's always talking about like participating in the silences and like journaling and getting yourself together internally. Thanks, Rita. We appreciate you. And so I also have her journal. but we did that last year. And then she has the 365, like it's like a daily inspiration for every day of the year. She has a couple different books. So Rhetoric's amazing. Uh, and so I was thinking about her when I picked this up. And so, especially in a world gone mad, you don't have to be mad. Something as simple as 15 minutes a day could help keep you on track, or utilizing the grid diary, which whatever works for you. Or if you just want to go to the Dollar Tree and pick up I mean, this was only $4, people. It's not like I broke the bank. But you could go to the $1.25 tree. They're not $1 anymore, really. The $1.25 tree, and grab yourself a blank notebook and start to journal. Start to dream again. Have a vision for what you want to accomplish and attack it, right? 2020 is the year of a nemesis. Yes, I will use that word repeatedly. I will, because we're moving forward. Yeah, y'all don't know that song. Okay, that's okay. So on that note, so our time tool technique for the week is Grid Diary. Feel free to check it out. No, they don't pay us to say that, but they could. All right, so feel free to check it out. So, but now, for those of you who have been waiting for our book it moment, let me introduce to you Unstuck. Okay. So as we're talking about leveling up, as we're talking about a nemesis, about progression, about moving forward, I wanted to find a book that could share with you that can help you with that. So Unstuck is just that. It's to help you, your staff, your team get out of your own way. That's the whole point of the book. And so a lot of times, if you're like I am, I'm an introvert. I don't really want to socialize, but so much. I'm great at socializing, but it takes a lot of energy that I don't always have. So people can suck the life out of you. For some of you, people can energize you. I'm not on that side. My people interactions make me tired. Then I have to go recharge. But to recharge, I need alone time, which is another part of the reason why doing stuff like this, I know as an introvert, is an amazing and really helpful for me, right? But when you're working in a group, sometimes you need to make sure you're doing things together to establish the right type of camaraderie, relationship, etc. Because especially when you work in, so like, for example, this morning, once again, I had a meeting with our producer, Christina, with a C. Special shout out to the Imagine Media Lab. And so because of our relationship, we talked about a lot this morning that was, I would have said, listening to the conversation, that was not business related, but it led us to like a really brilliant, I'm going to say it, a really brilliant business idea. And I'm really excited about kicking it off. The moment we had the conversation, I bought the domain name. We went to start the Facebook group. You'll hear about it later. Like, I'm really excited about it. And so that is part of what happens. When people talk about synergy, I hate that word, by the way. I do. It's overused. It's oversimplified. And I just don't like terms that are like, ew, this is our word. Oh, I did the word for the week. It's like these cliche terms that people use. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because at the heart of it, I don't know if they get it, or if it's just used to be used rather than because it's actually happening. But in this case, our meeting actually was synergistic. It really, really was. It produced some things because of that collaboration. But if you have a team and you all can't have that flow, you are often going to miss opportunities to ping, as you would say in computer language, off one another, right? To be able to make that connection. So Unstuck is one of those things. It's one of the reasons why they want you to go on that ropes course event with your teammates. All right. It's why they want you to have business retreats, and why everyone at the center always wants to have lunch together. I love them all, but it's a whole lot of socializing. It's beneficial in the end, right? A lot of great things can come from that camaraderie. But if you don't know how, and you're not ready to hire someone to help you figure it out, this is an inexpensive way. Pick up Unstuck. Give it a read, see what you can apply for your business, your team, your people, and best of luck with that. So our book it moment for this week, once again, Unstuck. and all I can hear in my head, I do have this random music, repertoire, and all I can hear is "I'm stuck." No one knows that song. I'm stuck. It's not even really a song. She's singing it in between like songs on her track. I think it's Nicole C. Mullen. I'm pretty sure. I'm stuck. Or the Trinity 5-7. Might be Trinity 5-7. That sounds like something they would say. I'm stuck. Okay, moving on because we're not stuck. Even though we might be on repeat, we are not stuck. So I want to talk about our work hard, play harder moment. But before we do, I want to give a shout out. So for those of you who are not, if you didn't know, we are located in Richmond, VA, all right, or what we like to say, RVA, the River City, not too far from DC. Love Richmond for this reason. Within 2 hours, you can be anywhere. You can be in the mountains. You could be at the ocean. You can be, you can just take your pick. You can pick all of it. You can be at a major city, or you could be in the country, all within 2 hours. So, really. Which is why I'm always saying I'm always at the beach, because it takes 2 hours. I can actually get to a beach in a little over an hour. So if I want to get to the beach, it's 2 to 3 hours, depending on traffic. All right. But with that in mind, I want to give a shout out to Susan Holland. All right. So I think if you have been with me, you've seen that we shared that we had been at the governor's mansion for, what were we there for? We've been a few times now, but that first time that we talked about, it was Women's History Month. And then there was a celebration for Women's Equality Pay Day and Women's Equality Day. I think that might have been the reason that we went officially. And so we've also been doing some work with the Governor's Council on Women. And so I don't know what's going to happen with the new governor, because the role of the Director of Outreach for Women has been eliminated. So I don't know what that means. I'm hoping it doesn't mean what I think it means, and we will await until our new governor puts whatever into action for his cabinet before we make any harsh decisions, even though we have harsh conclusions now. But we'll see. It's a wait and see approach. And so we've been doing some work with them and doing some things in particular for their STEAM H scholarship. And so at this point, we've mentioned it before, but the applications are all in. And what they do is they provide scholarships for two young ladies from each region. So there are 10 regions for the state of Virginia. They have 2 participants. There must be 5. I don't know where my brain is right now. It's on vacation. I'm not, though. Brain, come back. There are 10 recipients. So that would mean 5 regions, 2 each. Got it. I'm back now. I'm back. 5 regions in Virginia, 2 recipients from each region, and they receive a scholarship towards their education as long as they're in STEAM H, right? So it used to be STEM. Now it's STEAM because they've added the arts and health. So STEAM H. So we've been doing some things with them, or collaboration has been doing some things with them on that. And so I just thought it was really nice because I got a message from her last week about the fact that she was departing and that they weren't replacing her position, which is what we thought they were going to do, but they're not. And so she sent out an email, and then I got this lovely, lovely packet in the mail, which I thought was really sweet. And so with the status of like successes and things that they've done since their inception for Women's History Month and a bunch of other events, and a lovely letter, and then a thank you from Governor Northam. And so I thought that was really nice. So a shout out to Susan Holland and to the staff, especially for community outreach from our former governor's office. And we hope, with fingers crossed, that our current administration will continue to do the same and reaching out and being concerned, in particular in this case, about women. But they actually have a council for African American, had a chance to sit in on one of those, and for other communities as well. So it's very diverse. So just wanted to give a shout out, Suzanne. Just want to say, Susan, want to say, really appreciate you. Thank you for all that you did and that you continue to do. And I'm sure you'll move on to even bigger and better things. Keep up the good work. All right. So on that note, as we talk about work hard, play harder, wanted to share. So we're talking about moving forward. We're talking about nemesis and not getting stuck. So that's what we've talked about with our word for the week, our book, everything else has been leading up to this moment, even our time tool technique. It's all about helping you move forward. So our work hard, play harder moment brought to you by see, that could have been you right there, sponsor. WorkHARDaholics. Okay, so 5 tips for continuing moving forward they talk about it in terms of therapy, but this can be applied across the board, all right? So here's the first one, which it amazes me how much this needs to be repeated, but don't give up. It's so easy to quit. It's so easy to be like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need you. I'm out. But that means it never gets settled. And I'm not if it's unhealthy, it's unhealthy. But if you have made a decision, so for example, y'all know I have no problem using myself as a guinea pig. I've shared with you all because you are a part of my accountability. You're going to watch me do it. I'm going to show you by example. I've talked to you all about my health goals and things that I want to accomplish. Have I mentioned that? I know I mentioned it because I said it earlier. I am at the gym. I think I average around 5 times a week. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes I'll go to the gym twice in one day. Like I might do a water aerobics class in the morning and then go to Zumba at night, or a water aerobics class and then go running that evening. Trotting is more like it. So I have been on top of my workouts. Did I mention I wasn't losing weight? Yeah, I feel like the Pac-Man when he gets eaten. Whatever that sound is. And so it would be very easy for me to say, okay, I'm doing this and it's not working. I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. Because some days it's a lot of work. Some days I don't feel like getting up. Other days, if I don't go, I feel terrible. Like I didn't go today. And I feel differently when I don't go to the gym. I do. I just feel differently. But it's real easy to want to give up. I'm like, I'm paying to be tortured. It's not always torture, but it can feel like it. But I'm like, I'm paying you to basically beat up on my muscles so that I can be healthier. And I'm not seeing all the results that I want to, but I am seeing results. So even when it's not, I haven't dropped 100 pounds, which can I afford to drop 100 pounds? That's a lot of weight. Okay. I can't afford to drop 100 pounds. But either way, the point is, I'm not seeing the result. My desire and goal hasn't happened. So it's real easy to be like, forget about it. I quit. But I would encourage you not to quit. I would encourage you to remember the purpose of all that you're doing, right? And get there. We can get there. We can get there. No one said it was going to be easy, but if you really want it, you'll do it. So the first thing you have to do is don't give up. All right. And then number 2 is stay positive. It's so easy. I am often amazed when I hear people, because the person that tends to insult the most is themselves. Like, you all say some crazy things about yourself. You talk about your hair. You talk about your skin. You talk about your clothes. You talk about how you speak. Like, the self-criticism is like, ouch. And I'm like, if you don't like you, who else is going to like you? I'm like, if I have to convince you that you're a decent human being, okay. So even now, I am contemplating like unfriending someone because they require too much. So it's one thing if we had to have a 3-month, 6-month time together and we were really working on your self-esteem or helping you get to the next level or helping you improve. Like, that's what coaching is. This is what I do all day long, which is why I don't want to do it in my free time. But that's another story. And so if we're making all these steps and you're telling me you get it, we're going through the affirmations, we're going through we're making progress, and then you still constantly 6 months later, a year later, still going, I don't know. I'm on the verge of being like, you know what? I don't know either. Goodbye. The point is, stay positive. Okay, I amuse myself. It makes a difference about your outlook on life. So if you're always looking from the glass half empty, it has an impact. It has an impact on your mentality, your health. We can see it in your skin. Like my gray hair is because I was born with a bunch of it. But some of you, okay, although some of it, I always say y'all gave to me, but that's another story. But what does it cost you? What the saying they said when I was growing up, and it's still medically true. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. And even when you don't feel it, just do it. It's like when they say for customer service, because I've had lots of training in that, they always tell you when you pick up the phone, smile. And you're like, well, they can't see me, but they can hear you. And you can hear a smile. You can hear positivity. I love Eeyore and cartoons, but in real life, oh, we could not be friends. Are you serious? Oh, okay. Stay positive, people. Stay positive. Number 3 is one that I really, 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 really love. Take things one day at a time. Okay. Apparently, I have entered the giddy factor of my day. But yes, take things one day at a time. And so I apparently take this entirely too literally because like I think about my mother who always like planning, plotting, like she knows what she wants to do 6 months from now, a year. She's got a plan. And I'm just like, that's too far away. Like I got the gist of it. We can make a goal. We can set and make sure we understand the mile markers necessary. But I don't want to spend all my time today thinking about what's going to happen 5 years from now. Can I deal with today? And so that's one of my favorite things that I often say, especially to her. I'm like, I'm on today. I'm on today. And the most beyond that I want to talk about is tomorrow. So I might have plans, but when I'm focusing in on what I'm doing, I'm like, let's attack today. Let's enjoy today. Let's bask in this moment. Right? So like this morning, my excitement was like, I take joy in the little things. I recolored my hair and I was like, hey, I'm okay with this shade. Now for some of you, it's like, okay, so what? Enjoy your little so whats. Period. Move on. Compliment yourself every now and again. Like I thought, I'm going to say this out loud. This is one of those things I would normally not say out loud because I don't know what it is about looks that we're also like, I can't compliment myself because others will think I'm what? Arrogant? How about you just like yourself? Yesterday, I walked past the mirror and I was just like, I'm cute. Like, it just really struck me. I was like, you know what? You are really cute. Huh. I was looking at my cheekbone lines. I was like, oh, look at that. They just pop right on out. And I enjoyed that moment. I didn't go, but you're still like 50 pounds overweight. No, we didn't do that. We stopped for the moment. We gave ourselves the compliment. We enjoyed ourselves. We smiled at ourselves and we went about our day. Can you do that? Is there something you like about you? Assess. Move forward. Don't spend so much time harassing yourself with all the things you didn't do. What have you been able to do? And then for today, what's the one thing you can find positive about today? I know some people who, like my pastors, they said they have a gratitude jar. And so every day they put in one thing. And then when you get to those moments where you're just like, I don't feel positive about anything, you can go back to your gratitude jar or back to your journal or back to, whatever you're using. So this is mine now. I actually don't start this one until next week, so I'm very excited about it. Go back to whatever it is. Go back and look at old photos. Whatever will help you to remember, to enjoy the moment you're in, and to know that you've come a long way, baby, as the commercial would say. All right, let's get to the last two because we got to move on. We got work to do. All right, number 4, go at your own pace. I don't know why that's so complicated. So even as I talk about running, so I'm very sad about it. I did track for years, did swim team for a while, volleyball, all kinds of things. And I am very unexcited about running these days. But I'm getting ready. So because I'm going to do the half marathon, I'm going to go ahead and do the 10K in the spring. I don't want to. But one of the beautiful things about if you've never signed up for a 10K or a marathon or anything else, you tell them what pace you're running, and they place you with a group that has a similar pace. So it's not that if you've ever wondered like how they organize the people, if you notice they have different start times, right? So for those people who are trying to set a record, who are like that African from across the world who came over for this event, who always wins, they're put into basically a professional bracket. They have a start time of, I don't know, definitely less than 9-minute mile, less than that. And so they put them into a group. I lean towards a 15-minute mile. So I put that down. I tell them what my pace is, and they put me in with others who have a similar pace. So you don't have to be with everyone else and figure out, oh, well, this is Christina's pace, and that's what so-and-so does. No, what are you? Where are you? Be true to you. Know your own pace. Last, don't be afraid of disappointment. It happens. As the song goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. All right? So on that note, we're actually prepping to say, so long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, good night. I didn't watch The Sound of Music this past Christmas. I think it's time for me to go revisit that. So, people, I hope that you are experiencing a nemesis, that you're moving forward, that you're progressing, that you're not going to allow yourself to just stagnate where you are. You're going to level up. You're going to move forward. I feel like how many more positive statements and affirmations can I put into 1 minute of time? I don't know, but you get the point. So WorkHARDaholics, as we always say, we want you to live better, do better, please, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta. See you next week. Boo, boo, boo.
Let Socialita help your business stand out from the crowd by building your brand success through social media management. We're located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. Our website is www.socialitarva.com. You can also give us a call at 804-484-2001. Again, Socialita.
Imagine Media Lab, in partnership with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing. Record that podcast you've always wanted to start. Voiceovers and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.